Welcome to the Know, I'm Meg Turney.
I'm John Reisinger.
Sometime in the last 5 years, you probably bought Just Cause 2 for like $1 during a Steam sale, and then you actually discovered it's pretty damn fun.
Now, the follow-up to everyone's favorite action hero simulator wet dream has arrived! Just Cause 3 is here, bringing its brand of grappling hook insanity to a new generation. The reviews are in, so of course we're asking, is it good?
Of course we are. Just Cause 3 is sitting at an average Metacritic score of 78 when you factor in the scores for PS4, Xbox One, and PC, which are 82, 77, and 76 respectively.
Those are my dimensions.
Indeed. If you're dying to know how the first two games scored on Metacritic, that puts Just Cause 3 at higher than the 74 of the first game, but lower than Just Cause 2's overall score of 82.
Unsurprisingly, for a game like this, the critics are fairly split down the middle. It definitely seems like one of those hate it or love it titles with reviewers scoring it in the 80s or the 60s. Although some of that might have to do with the game's technical issues. Reports have been coming in about Just Cause 3's frame rate on both consoles, and PC players are running into a few bugs of their own, leaving some AMD users waiting on a fix. Kotaku and IGN in particular mentioned running into lots of issues during their own playthroughs.
Modern video games. Why do you suck so bad?
I don't know.
Hate it. As for the big outlets, EGM gave the game a 90, Giant Bomb, Polygon, Game Informer, Destructoid, and IGN are in the 80s camp, while PC Gamer, Games Radar, and Video Gamer are in camp 60s.
So many camps.
So many camps. Meanwhile, RPS calls the game recommended, while Kotaku gives the helpful score of not yet.
What if you got that like on a test from school?
Soon.
Mom and Dad, I got a not yet!
Need more time.
One thing that everyone seems to agree on, Rico's return to his home of Medici to liberate it from a dictator is a completely over-the-top sandbox adventure and is not ashamed of its own ridiculousness. Polygon writes, at one point, Rico tells another character with a straight face, having written a missile, I can tell you that it's pretty cool.
Who wouldn't say that, though?
I mean, I would.
Yeah, exactly. But this awareness of what it is allows Just Cause 3 to focus on what it does best, mayhem and movement. As far as mayhem goes, and we're going to be using that word a lot in this video, Just Cause 3 is in top form. IGN reveled in the destruction, commenting that Just Cause 3 has some of the best and most empowering explosions this side of Red Faction Guerrilla.
Empowering explosions?
Yeah, I feel very empowered by them. Your main targets are exploding stuff like fuel tanks and power generators, which are clearly marked in red and scattered liberally across most towns and military bases. But you can also collapse flimsy-looking structures like guard towers, gas stations, and even more spectacularly, huge bridges.
Finally, a game where you can blow up almost all the things. In terms of movement, reviewers seem to love traversing Just Cause 3 400 square kilometer Mediterranean wonderland. Polygon says, I usually skipped fast travel in order to enjoy the varied and often beautiful nature of Medici scenery. While some open world games make travel a chore, locomotion is one of Just Cause 3's chief joys. It's satisfying to flick yourself up the side of cliffs and through mountains.
Just flick right up
I
there.
love flicking myself.
Oh, thanks to ziplines and parachutes, Just Cause has always made travel awesome, but Just Cause 3 introduces a new element, the wingsuit. EGM loved the way the three systems work together in tandem, saying, when these three systems are synchronized, they make traveling across the massive landscape as smooth and effortless as it is completely badass. Parachuting through a military base while gunning down enemies before zipping to the end of a runway and wingsuiting off into the hills for a clean getaway is an experience few other games can match.
Once you master flying, the rest of the game comes pretty easily. Just Cause 3's structure focuses primarily on liberating all of Medici. Oppressed provinces on the map are labeled in red and turn to blue once you've freed the towns, outposts, and bases within them. But that really depends on your definition of freed. Though because your primary method of liberation is simply to blow everything to hell, are we sure this guy isn't from America?
Yeah.
We love explosions.
Boom! You're moved from zone to zone, blowing shit up to set it free, and you can make progress and unlock new equipment. But according to reviewers, this can quickly turn into a grind.
Ugh.
According to PC Gamer, this structure starts to feel like a chore. You charge around chucking grenades and launching rockets until every red thing has been checked off. The explosions are amazing, but they're a distraction. Fireworks display. Compare this to the rich interlinking systems of something like Metal Gear Solid 5, and you realize that Just Cause 3 has no depth at all.
Ooh, that sucks. Actually, chucking grenades and rockets at everything sounds kind of amazing.
Sounds really fun.
I'd be down with it. Others didn't quite agree with PC Gamer's damning criticism, simply because the mayhem is just so fun to begin with. GameSpot in particular praised the rhythm of the game's structure, stating that it's what makes Just Cause 3 so great. There's a cadence to how you approach its world. Outpost liberation leads to challenges, which leads to gear mods, which leads to experimentation. And more often than not, each tier of this formula is entertaining in itself. That each flows so well into the next and makes the overall experience all the more rewarding.
So whether or not they were fine with the overall structure of the game, many felt that the way it tied into the story was lacking, as the story is locked behind liberating more territory. Games Radar says that this is the game's biggest problem, writing, "There's fun to be had once you untether yourself from the stingy unlocks, the need to liberate endless provinces, and the relentless militia. The game preaches chaos, but constantly holds you back with rules and restrictions."
Stupid rules and restrictions. But by the time you unlock more of the story, you might be regretting it. Kotaku calls the game's main story so undercooked it's raw. And the majority of the story missions are bad. Enemies are spammy and annoying, and enemy artificial intelligence feels dated and ridiculous. It somehow manages to be irritatingly difficult and overall easy at the same time, and as frustrating as often it is rewarding. Other reviewers also threw around the dreaded E word, escort missions.
No.
Ugh.
They always get killed. This is the worst. Let's be honest, nobody really likes a game for its story, or especially a Just Cause game. But seriously, Avalanche, let's leave escort missions back where they belong, in the dark ages.
Agreed. At the end of the day, Just Cause 3 sounds like a very fun game that has its shining moments, but still doesn't quite wingsuit its way into excellent territory. Overall, reviewers loved flying over Medici to enjoy the stunning vistas and beautiful landscape before blowing it all to hell over and over again. When this stops being fun, seems like it's going to be up to each individual player.
So have any of you guys played Just Cause 3 yet? Have you run into any technical issues? And how fun is tethering together helicopters? We need to know for science.
To get the latest news on Medici's explosions and mayhem, like this video and subscribe to The Know.
When these three systems are synchronized, they make traveling across the massive landscape as smooth and... Can't say it. Fuck this quote! As smooth and effortless as is... Fucking damn it! I hate it! As it is completely badass. Got it.